Operant conditioning, a behavioral learning theory, was first put forth by two prominent psychologists, the first of which was Edward Thorndike, who designed the law of effect. The law states, a response is strengthened by a reward. A response is weakened by a punishment. As part of his work, Thorndike studied cats. He placed a cat in a puzzle box. Food or water was placed outside the box as a reward. The cat had to learn how to push a lever outside the box in order to receive the reward of the food or the water. Another prominent psychologist in operant conditioning was B.F. Skinner. He designed the ABCs of behavior. First, we have the antecedent, a stimulus, or what comes before the behavior. Next, we have the behavior, or the response, to the antecedent. Lastly, we have the consequence. The consequence in operant conditioning is extremely important. We have two types of consequences, a reinforcement and a punishment. We'll take a look at the consequences more closely in a second. Skinner did much of his work with mice or rats. The first type of consequence is the reinforcement, which increases the likelihood of the targeted behavior. The second type of consequence is the punishment, which decreases the likelihood of the targeted behavior. Skinner used what is famously known now as a Skinner box, in which a mouse had to learn to push a lever in order to receive food or water. In operant conditioning, there are two types of terms that need to be defined. Positive means to add something, negative means to remove something. There are also two types of events that occur, pleasant or unpleasant. When you add something pleasant, that is a positive reinforcement. An example would be the thumbs up or like button that we see in social media today. When you post something that we like or want and give a thumbs up to, then that increases the likelihood that you will post again. When you remove something negative, that becomes a negative reinforcement. For example, if you make an A on a test and have your homework for that week removed, then that will increase the likelihood you will study hard and make an A for the next test as well. Adding something unpleasant results in positive punishment. For example, writing several sentences stating "I will not talk in class" should decrease the likelihood of someone talking in class. Removing something pleasant results in negative punishment. For example, taking away the video game system is a good deterrent for undesired behavior. Positive punishment and negative reinforcement are often confused, even in popular movies and TV shows. In the movie Ghostbusters and the TV series The Big Bang Theory, the two concepts were misused, although in The Big Bang Theory, a later episode correctly used these concepts. Although they both deal with an unpleasant event, there are two key differences. One is a punishment and the other is a reinforcement. Also, one is adding an unpleasant event while the other is removing an unpleasant event. Operant conditioning has been studied with cats, mice, and believe it or not, even pigeons, and of course, people. Skinner wrote a fictional book called Walden 2, where the rules of operant conditioning created a perfect utopian society. Of course, people also had to give up free will. Operant conditioning is considered determinism, where your fate is predetermined by external forces outside of free will. This brings up the debate of free will versus determinism. What do you think? Are we the product of consequences to our behavior, or do we have the free will to choose a fate for ourselves?